Thank you for choosing Wisdom of the Dharma. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss a new update. Your support helps us keep sharing powerful, life-changing wisdom with the world. And don't forget to drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's grow and learn together. Part 1, Time, Friend or Thief? Have you ever walked into a home and felt off? Everything seems normal. The furniture is tidy. The lighting is soft. But something in the air feels heavy, like the energy inside the house isn't breathing. As if time itself is stuck. Now, what if I told you that the cause might not be a spiritual curse? Or some forgotten debt? But something as ordinary as a clock? Yes, a simple wall clock. We tend to think of clocks as harmless, silent, decorative, useful. But in the teachings of ancient Feng Shui, and echoed in Buddhist insight, a clock is not just an object that tells you the hour. It's a moving symbol of energy, one that, if placed carelessly, can quietly unravel the harmony of your home. In fact, 99% of households unknowingly hang their clocks in a way that does more harm than good. Not intentionally. Not with malice. Just by following habit. And ignoring energy. What if the very clock ticking on your wall right now is draining your wealth? Creating subtle anxiety between family members? Blocking the flow of prosperity before it even reaches your doorstep? It sounds almost ridiculous. But that's exactly why it's dangerous. Because it's too ordinary to question. You see, in both Feng Shui and Dharma teachings, nothing is truly neutral. Every object holds a frequency. Every placement invites a consequence. And a clock, because it constantly moves, is like a quiet conductor of the energy in your space. Place it right, and it becomes a blessing. Place it wrong, and it becomes a curse disguised as convenience. But this video isn't here to make you paranoid. It's here to help you wake up. To help you become more mindful of the invisible choreography happening in your home, every minute of every day. To show you how something as small as adjusting your clock's position can unlock peace, stability, and even wealth. We'll journey through Buddhist perspectives on time, uncover ancient Feng Shui wisdom about shape and placement, and explore how clocks, both on your wall and on your wrist, can shift the energy of your entire life. And along the way, I'll share real stories of people, just like you, who made one small change and experienced something they never expected. Flow. Because when time flows right, life flows with it. So before we dive deeper, take a breath. And ask yourself, is time serving me, or silently stealing from me? Let's begin. Part 2, The Dharma of Time, What Buddhist Wisdom Reveals. Time is one of the few things that never stops, yet most of us barely notice it until we feel like we're running out of it. We check the hour. We chase deadlines. We count birthdays. But how often do we stop to consider what time actually is? In the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, time is not something external. It's not just a number on a screen or a ticking on a wall. Time is experience. It's movement. It's impermanence made visible. Buddhism teaches us that all things are impermanent, anicca. This truth is the foundation of wisdom. Everything arises, stays for a while, and fades away. Your thoughts, your body, your fortune, even your suffering. Nothing lasts forever. And time is the river that carries it all. That's why a clock, in a Buddhist view, is never just a tool. It's a reminder of impermanence. But more than that, it's a mirror. Every tick of the second hand is a soft whisper. This moment is passing. Are you present for it? Every turn of the hour is a bell. This is your life. Are you living it with awareness? We live in a world of speed and noise. And many people believe that time is the enemy, something we don't have enough of. But Buddhism turns that thinking upside down. The past is already gone, the future is not yet here. There's only one moment where life is truly lived, the present. The Buddha. This is why mindfulness, sati, is central to the path. Mindfulness means fully arriving in the now. And what better companion to that practice than a clock that's placed with intention? In the monastery, every bell, every drumbeat, every sound is designed to wake the monk up to the present. Not to stress him, but to bring him home to this moment. In your home, the clock can play a similar role. If chosen with care and placed with understanding, a clock becomes a Dharma tool. A gentle nudge toward presence. A rhythm for your awareness. A reminder that life is unfolding here, now, not in your regrets, not in your worries, but right where you are. This is where the overlap with Feng Shui begins to show itself, not as a superstition, but as a subtle science of space and energy. You see, in both Buddhist and Feng Shui thought, there is no separation between mind and environment. Your space is an extension of your consciousness. And time, expressed through movement, rhythm, and flow, is the bridge between your inner and outer worlds. When energy flows smoothly in your home, you feel at peace. When it gets blocked, you may not notice it immediately, but slowly, irritation creeps in. Fatigue builds. Money slips through your fingers. Relationships start to feel heavier. A clock is like a steering wheel for time's energy. Place it with intention, and you align your living space with the flow of the universe. Place it without care, and you might find yourself unconsciously fighting the current. And just like in meditation, where we observe each breath, each moment without clinging, the way we interact with time in our home matters deeply. Are we using it as a guide, or ignoring its silent teachings? There's a Zen saying, when walking, just walk. When eating, just eat. When seeing the time, just see. This sounds simple, even childlike. But it's profound. To live in rhythm with time is to live in peace with reality. Many people hang clocks in their homes simply because they think they should. It looks empty without one. Or it helps keep things on schedule. But what if you approached your clock the way a monk approaches his mala beads, not just a tool, but a sacred reminder? In that light, your clock becomes a spiritual instrument. A small but mighty presence that says, stay awake. Stay present. Time is not your enemy. It's your teacher. So the next time you look at your wall clock, ask yourself, not what time is it? But, am I living fully in this time? Because that's the real teaching. The Dharma of Time isn't about managing hours. It's about meeting life, moment by moment, breath by breath, with eyes open and heart steady. And as we'll soon discover, the shape and placement of your clock are not aesthetic choices, they are energetic invitations. They are how you shape your karma and the space around you. Let's continue. Part 3, Shape is Karma, what your clock is really saying. Walk into a room and you'll see it almost instantly, mounted on the wall, perhaps near the doorway or above the couch, silently ticking away. A clock. But take a closer look. Is it round? Square? Triangular? Perhaps even something abstract, with jagged angles or odd curves? You may think it's just a design choice, a matter of taste. But in the quiet language of energy, every shape speaks. And what it's saying could be quietly shaping your thoughts, your emotions, even your fortune. In Buddhist philosophy, form is never just form. In the Heart Sutra, we are reminded. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Everything physical carries a vibration. Every object reflects a karmic intention, a symbolic expression of something deeper. And so does your clock. Let's begin with the most powerful and universally favored form in both Feng Shui and Buddhist symbolism, the circle. The round clock, flow, wholeness, and heaven's motion. The circle is the shape of wholeness. It has no beginning, no end. It represents infinite flow, unity, and harmony. It mirrors the great cosmic cycle, birth, growth, decline, and renewal. In Feng Shui, a round clock evokes the energy of the heavens, of time moving in alignment with natural rhythm. Round clocks bring gentle yang energy, bright, clear, unobtrusive. They do not force movement, they invite it, like the turning of seasons or the waxing of the moon. A round clock in your space becomes a gentle guardian of rhythm. Not harsh. Not demanding. Just present, always guiding energy forward in a circle of continuous blessings. From a spiritual lens, the round clock speaks to non-attachment. It has no corners to get stuck in. It reminds us, all things return. All things change. Don't resist the turning. Stay open. Ideal for living rooms, hallways, common spaces, and anywhere you want to attract abundance and maintain flow. The square clock, grounding, structure, and earth's support. The square is the symbol of stability. In both Feng Shui and classical architecture, it represents the earth, firm, grounded, protective. 4 corners, 4 directions, 4 elements. The square clock brings a sense of discipline and order to your space. Where the round clock flows, the square clock anchors. It says, here, things are held. Boundaries exist. Focus is protected. From a karmic perspective, the square clock reflects inner strength and commitment. It's the energy of responsibility, of honoring structure without being rigid. But be careful, too many square shapes in one space can create energetic heaviness. The key is balance. Where life feels chaotic or scattered, a square clock brings form. Where life feels stuck, it may reinforce what already needs loosening. Ideal for offices, reading rooms, study corners, places that benefit from concentration, clarity, and firm energy. The triangle and sharp-angled clocks, fire, agitation, and conflict. Then come the clocks shaped like triangles or those with many sharp edges. These are striking to the eye, modern, edgy, bold. But energetically, they carry a very different message. In Feng Shui, triangles belong to the fire element. They bring high intensity, force, and aggressive yang. This can be useful in spaces that require action or transformation, but dangerous in areas meant for rest or harmony. A triangular clock in a living room may subtly stir conflict. In a bedroom, it may provoke anxiety or restlessness. Why? Because sharp angles cut energy. They fragment flow. They create points of tension, both visually and spiritually. From a Dharma point of view, this shape represents the mind that is too sharp, always analyzing, always comparing, always agitated. Not wrong, but out of balance. Fire energy has its place, but too much fire burns the roots of peace. Avoid in shared family spaces, bedrooms, meditation areas. Use with caution, and only if balanced by soft textures and gentle lighting. Asymmetrical, abstract, and bumpy clocks, chaos in disguise. Modern design often celebrates uniqueness. And while creativity has value, energy still needs order. Clocks that are oddly shaped, lopsided, zigzagged, overly decorative, may look stylish, but they send mixed signals to the energy field of your home. Energy needs a path. Movement needs a rhythm. Dharma teaches us to walk the middle way, not too tight, not too loose. Clocks that feel unstable or unbalanced visually often reflect and reinforce mental distraction or emotional restlessness. You may not notice it at first, but over time, a misshapen clock can make a space feel off. Like something doesn't quite land. Visitors may say, "I don't know why, but I can't relax here." This is not superstition. It's sensitivity. From a karmic view, chaotic form invites scattered mind. And the home that holds scattered thoughts becomes a restless refuge. Avoid quiet spaces, prayer rooms, anywhere energy needs focus. If used, ground the space with plants, stones, or balanced artwork. Shape as karma, design as dharma. So, what is your clock saying? The answer isn't about trends or style. It's about intention. When you choose a clock, you are choosing the rhythm of energy in that space. You are choosing how time will speak to your body, your thoughts, your relationships, and your future. Will it whisper peace? Will it stir confusion? Will it pulse with presence, or push you into unconscious hurry? Clocks are not good or bad. But they are not neutral. And just like karma, the energy they generate will ripple, subtly but surely, into your everyday life. So before we move on to where to place your clock, pause and ask, is the shape on my wall matching the shape of the life I want to build? Choose wisely. Because the hands of time are not just turning minutes. They're shaping your space, and the destiny that grows inside it. Let's go deeper. Part 4, Room by Room, where clocks create harmony, or havoc. If the shape of your clock is its voice, then its placement is the message it sends to your space, and to your life. In both Feng Shui and Buddhist mindfulness, energy doesn't move randomly. It flows through intention, space, and awareness. Where you place a clock determines whether it invites harmony or disturbs it. Let's walk through the house, one space at a time. 1. The hallway, awakening forgotten energy. Hallways are the energy meridians of a home. When neglected, they become stagnant, making the whole house feel heavy. A clock in the middle of a hallway, especially one with smooth silent movement, helps circulate qi. It acts like a pulse, gently encouraging movement through what is otherwise a still and overlooked space. From a Dharma lens, hallways symbolize the in-between, a moment of transition. A well-placed clock here helps us stay awake during life's pauses. Avoid placing clocks at the beginning, energy not settled, or end, creates tension like time chasing you. Example, a teacher placed a round clock midway down her long hallway. Visitors soon said, "It just feels more alive here." 2. The living room, anchoring connection and flow. The living room is the heart of the home, where people gather, talk, and share energy. Place your clock in the east or southeast area to connect with the wood element, supporting growth and flexibility. A round or simple square clock works best here. From a spiritual view, this room is where we build interpersonal karma. A gentle, well-placed clock supports steady relationships and emotional rhythm. Avoid putting a clock directly across from the front door. That position rushes time and qi right back out. Example, a family experiencing tension moved their oversized clock to a corner near a plant. The home began to feel calmer and more welcoming within days. 3. The bedroom, where time should rest too. The bedroom is ruled by yin energy, stillness, softness, healing. A loud or oversized clock can disturb that harmony, even while you sleep. If needed, choose a small, quiet clock, and place it away from the bed, ideally on a nightstand, not directly above or across from you. In Buddhist practice, sleep is a surrender into impermanence. The room should whisper peace, not pressure. Example, A woman struggling with poor sleep removed a jagged clock from above her bed. After replacing it with a small wooden clock on her dresser, her sleep improved noticeably. 4. The reading room, guiding focus and insight. A study or reading nook is a space for deep thought. A softly moving clock here reinforces clarity and rhythm without distraction. Place the clock on the north wall, connected to the water element, which enhances wisdom and adaptability. Choose calm colors, soft brown, white, or blue. From the Dharma perspective, this is the space where learning transforms into insight. A mindful timekeeper helps anchor you in still presence. Example, a writer added a silent round clock to her reading corner. She said, "It feels like it holds time for me, not against me." 5. The wealth corner, keeping prosperity in motion. In Feng Shui, the southeast corner governs wealth and long-term abundance. A round clock with steady movement helps keep that energy circulating. Place the clock with intention, and pair it with other symbols like a money plant, golden toad, or incense. Avoid digital clocks or any that are broken. Buddhist teachings remind us, wealth is not to be chased blindly, but cultivated with mindfulness and generosity. A clock here supports financial flow, not by magic, but by reinforcing energetic harmony. Example, a small business owner moved her clock into her wealth corner and added a gratitude altar. Within a month, she reported improved clarity and stability in her finances. Time is movement, space is meaning. Your home is a living field of energy. Your clock is not just telling time. It's setting the tempo of your life. When placed with wisdom, it becomes a gentle guide, drawing in peace, connection, and flow. Next, we'll look at the most common mistakes people make with clocks, and how to gently reverse them. Let's continue. Part 5, The Silent Saboteurs, Broken Clocks and Bad Energy. A clock, when placed with care, can act like a steady heartbeat in your home, regulating the rhythm of your space, reminding you of flow, and calling your energy into the present moment. But what happens when that heartbeat stops? Many people overlook the simple truth. A broken clock is not just useless, it is harmful. We've all seen it. A stylish wall clock that stopped ticking weeks ago but still hangs untouched. A forgotten alarm clock buried in a drawer with dead batteries. Or worse, a digital clock that blinks 12 o'clock endlessly, never reset, never acknowledged. It may not seem like a big deal. But in both Feng Shui and Dharma teachings, this subtle neglect sends a strong energetic signal. 1. Stopped clocks equals stalled energy. Feng Shui is built on the principle that energy must flow. Like water in a stream or breath in the body, stagnation invites decay. The moment your clock stops moving, it becomes a symbol of interruption, a message to your space that something has broken down, and no one noticed. In spiritual terms, a stopped clock mirrors internal avoidance. It says, "I'm not paying attention. I'm too busy to care. I've given up control." And the energy around it follows suit. Clocks represent time. And time, in the Dharma, is not neutral, it is karma unfolding. When your time is stuck, your karma may feel stuck too. It's no coincidence that many people report periods of mental fog, financial stagnation, or emotional heaviness during times when multiple clocks in their home were broken or dead. The symbolism is powerful, even if the cause seems mundane. Real life story. A single mother in her 40s came to a spiritual retreat complaining of low energy and difficulty focusing. During a conversation, she mentioned that 3 of the clocks in her apartment weren't working, but she got used to it. When asked to replace or remove them, she did. 2 weeks later, she wrote in, I didn't change my schedule or my diet, but I feel like life started moving again. Coincidence? Or energy reactivating? 2. Misplaced clocks equals confused qi. Another common issue is not what kind of clock you have, but where you put it. Here are a few common placement mistakes, and what they may be saying to your home. Clock directly across from the main entrance. This makes it feel like your time and luck rush in, only to rush back out. Over time, you may feel constantly busy but strangely unproductive. Clock above the bed. The bedroom is a sacred space of rest. A clock looming over your head can create subtle pressure, affect sleep quality, and contribute to low-level anxiety. Clock at the end of a hallway. Instead of moving energy forward, this setup can feel like you're being pursued, leading to tension or fatigue when passing by. Clock too high on the wall. This elevates time above you, creating a subconscious sense that you're always beneath it, never quite catching up. In Buddhist psychology, our surroundings are reflections of our inner state. When the clock feels oppressive or misplaced, the mind begins to mimic that posture. Tension, avoidance, overthinking. Instead, every placement should be a mindful conversation. Does this support my flow, or interfere with it? 3. Clocks that are too loud, too bright, or too chaotic. Not all clocks are created equal. Some aren't broken, but still create imbalance. Loud ticking in quiet rooms like bedrooms or study areas may elevate cortisol levels, increasing anxiety or disrupting deep focus. Clocks with flashing lights or LED displays can overstimulate the nervous system, especially harmful in spaces meant for healing or meditation. Clocks with harsh or clashing colors, like bright red with metallic gray, may disrupt the 5-element harmony in your home, introducing conflicting signals to the qi. Even clocks with harsh alarm tones can have long-term effects on your emotional state. Waking up to a jarring buzz every morning, over time, conditions the body to brace for pressure at the beginning of every day. From a Dharma perspective, this is no small matter. When the first sound you hear is agitation, your mind begins its day in a subtle state of defense. Instead, choose clocks that whisper, not shout. That guide, not command. That hold you with presence, not pressure. 4. The clock you forgot is still speaking. Sometimes the most energetically disruptive clocks are the ones we've forgotten altogether. A dusty one in the garage. A children's room clock stuck at 7:42. A decorative wall piece that once worked, but no one checks anymore. In the Dharma, what we ignore becomes our karma. These forgotten clocks speak a silent language to the energy around them. I am neglected. I don't matter. I don't move. And energy, always listening, follows suit. A powerful practice. This week, walk through your home with a fresh pair of eyes. Look at every clock, not just with your sight, but with your awareness. Ask, are you alive? Are you in the right place? Do you still serve the energy here? If not, let it go, or revive it. Time isn't the enemy, neglect is. A clock, like time itself, is not your enemy. But neglect is. Unawareness is. Assumption is. When we stop paying attention to the quiet rhythms that guide our space, we allow disorder to take root. And the cost is subtle, but real. So replace that broken clock. Move that misplaced one. Let time become a tool of awareness, not anxiety. Because when you care for time, time begins to care for you. And if this message has helped you see your space in a new light, support this journey. Like this video. Subscribe to Wisdom of the Dharma. And hit the bell so you don't miss the next shift in energy. Together, we're not just decorating homes. We're awakening them, one mindful moment at a time. Let's keep going. Part 6, Clock plus Art equals Energy Fusion. When we think of decorating a home, we often separate the functional from the beautiful. The clock tells time. The painting fills a wall. One is useful. The other, ornamental. But what if the real power comes from how they interact? In both Feng Shui and the Dharma, true harmony is not about individual objects, but about how things resonate together. It's about how the visible world becomes a silent conversation between form, energy, and intention. This is where the concept of energy pairing begins to shine. When a clock is placed near the right kind of painting, the result is more than aesthetic. It becomes a living, breathing energy node, a corner of your home that nourishes the mind, uplifts the spirit, and draws an auspicious flow. 1. Paintings that already carry good qi. Certain subjects in traditional Feng Shui are believed to attract high vibrational energy. Blooming peonies, symbols of prosperity and noble grace. Flowing rivers or waterfalls, invoking movement and wealth. Mountains and cranes, representing longevity and stability. Lotus flowers, clarity, purity, and spiritual awakening. These images, when chosen with care and placed with mindfulness, begin to change the frequency of a room. They invite stillness without stagnation. Beauty without distraction. Add a round clock with a calm, quiet presence next to them, and the energy shifts again, into balance in motion. It's no longer just a pretty picture. It's an energetic dialogue between presence and passage, between space and time. From a Buddhist perspective, this pairing reflects the balance between form and flow. The painting anchors your awareness. The clock reminds you that every moment is impermanent. Together, they whisper, "See the beauty. Let it move." 2. Elemental pairing, the 5 elements in harmony. Each image you hang, and each clock you choose, carries a dominant element: wood, fire, earth, metal, or water. When these are placed in harmony, they reinforce and nourish each other. Here are some practical examples. Painting of water, lotus pond or waterfall. Pair with a metal-colored clock, silver, white. Why? In the 5-element cycle, metal nourishes water, brings peace and flow. Painting of forest or bamboo. Pair with a natural wood-tuned clock. Wood reinforces wood, encourages growth and creativity. Painting of mountain at sunrise, fire or earth element. Pair with a red, orange, or earth tone clock. Fire strengthens willpower, earth grounds it. This approach is not just Feng Shui, it's applied mindfulness. Each object becomes a vote for the energy you want to live with. 3. Avoid energetic clashes. Not all combinations work. Some clash in subtle, disturbing ways. Avoid pairing clocks with artwork that carries violent or chaotic imagery, war, wild animals in attack mode. Dark or oppressive tones, storm scenes, abstract confusion. Busy, crowded compositions that don't allow the eye to rest. These visuals might seem striking, but they can create tension. When paired with the movement of a clock, they amplify mental noise instead of clarity. A monk's quarters are often sparse, but never empty. They hold just enough: a scroll with calligraphy, a small incense holder, a simple clock. Each item is placed not for decoration, but for direction. Not to impress, but to remind. 4. A real-life shift, the corner that came alive. A retired couple once wrote in after watching a Feng Shui workshop. They had a dull corner in their living room, blank wall, cold energy, no function. They placed a painting of a gentle waterfall beside a round, white clock with silent movement. Beneath it, they added a small stone with an inscription, "Gratitude." Within weeks, guests gravitated to that space. They didn't know why. "It just feels peaceful here," they would say. That's energy alignment. That's the art of quiet change. Art and time, Dharma and daily life. In Buddhist thought, beauty is not luxury. It's not vanity. It's mindfulness made visible. When a clock and a painting are placed with care, they become a lesson in impermanence and appreciation. They help you live with rhythm and see with reverence. Not everything that moves is rushing. Not everything that's still is stuck. And in the harmony between motion and presence, you'll find peace. As we move forward, we'll explore the most powerful place of all to hang your clock. The wealth corner of your home. Let's continue. Part 7, Personal Stories, Time, Karma, and Wealth. There's a story I often come back to, quiet, simple, but unforgettable. It's about a man named David, a financial consultant in his early 50s, living in a quiet suburb just outside of Portland. From the outside, David had everything in order: a successful career, a modest home, a peaceful garden in the back. But inside, he was exhausted. "I don't know what's wrong," he once told a friend. "My business is steady, but I feel like my energy is leaking. I wake up tired. My ideas don't flow. I sit at my desk and stare. And no matter how much money I make, it slips away somehow. Like time, I never have enough." His friend, a longtime student of Feng Shui and mindfulness, paid him a visit. She walked through his home slowly, silently, just observing. And then she stopped in his study. There, above his bookshelf, was a large, elegant wall clock, sleek black frame, glass face, silver hands. But it wasn't moving. "It's been broken for months," David said, almost laughing. "I just like how it looks." His friend nodded gently. "You've been feeling stuck, right?" He paused. "Yes." She didn't criticize. She just made a suggestion. "Remove the clock for now. Or replace it. Don't let time stand still above where your mind is meant to flow." David didn't think much of it. But that evening, he took the clock down and left the wall empty. The next morning, he noticed something. Not dramatic, but a shift. He sat down to work and ideas began to come, not in a flood, but in a quiet stream. He didn't check the time obsessively. He didn't feel rushed. He just worked, present. A week later, he bought a new clock. Round. Wooden frame. Soft ticking. He hung it across the room where it wouldn't dominate his vision but could still guide the energy. Within a month, David said he felt unstuck. His clients returned. His sleep deepened. And for the first time in years, he felt a sense of timing, not just with schedules, but with life. He didn't rearrange his entire house. He didn't chant mantras or light incense. He just changed one thing, his relationship with time. And in that shift, karma began to move again. Part 8, Time is not a threat, it's a teacher. We began this journey with a surprising question. Could a clock, a simple, ordinary object, be silently draining your wealth and well-being? Now, we understand it's not just about the clock. It's about what it represents. Time isn't just something we track. It's something we live inside. And how we relate to time, how we place it in our homes, on our wrists, and in our minds, shapes everything else. In Buddhist philosophy, time is not linear. It's not something to conquer or control. It's a flow, a rhythm, a gentle, ever-changing dance between impermanence and presence. Each tick of the clock is not a threat. It's a teaching. It says, this moment is leaving. Can you greet it before it goes? It says, you don't need to do more. You just need to be here. Whether it's the way your clock ticks in your hallway, the way your wristwatch hugs your skin, or the way you pause before reacting, time is your mirror. It reflects your awareness. It reveals your habits. It asks you, are you rushing through life? Or moving in rhythm with it? Time and karma, the invisible thread. Everything we've explored, Feng Shui placement, object shape, movement, stillness, is ultimately about karma. Not in the superstitious sense, but in the practical, intimate way we understand cause and effect. A broken clock left on the wall may not seem serious, but it represents unattended karma. A loud, jarring alarm may not seem spiritual, but it sets the tone of your entire morning. And a clock placed with love, mindfulness, and purpose, it becomes a guidepost. A kind presence in your space that whispers, be here. Begin again. The home is a living Dharma. Your home is not just where you sleep or eat or check your phone. It is your practice space. It's where energy circulates and collects. Where stories unfold. Where your karma ripens, one decision, one breath, one step at a time. The clocks in your home are not merely decor. They are companions on the path. They remind you to return to yourself. To honor the moment. To live, not later, but now. And if there's one message this entire teaching hopes to leave with you, it's this. Time is not the enemy. Time is the teaching. And your awareness? That's the student. A final reflection. Before we end, take one quiet moment, right now, and ask, is my relationship with time peaceful? Do I feel in rhythm with my days, or at war with them? Have I placed time where it belongs, in harmony with my heart? If any part of you says yes, or even whispers I want to, then this journey has already begun inside you. And that is enough. Support the flow, join our Dharma space. If this message brought value to your home, your heart, or your healing, like this video, it helps others find their way to peace. Subscribe to Wisdom of the Dharma for teachings rooted in energy, awareness, and awakening. Hit the bell so you don't miss future episodes that help realign your space and your spirit. We're not just building a channel. We're building a community of consciousness, one mindful home, one sacred moment at a time. Until we meet again. May your clocks be well placed. May your time be gentle. May your heart move in harmony with the unseen rhythms of life. Thank you for walking this path with me. We'll see you in the next teaching. Until then, be still. Be present. Be whole.